Most of us remember some of the devastation that we read about at 9/11, or even more recently through the war in Ukraine, or the hurricanes and the terrible conditions that it leaves behind. Well, in Lamentations chapter 5, Jeremiah, who was called the weeping prophet, he's crying out to God because of the terrible circumstances, the devastation that he and the people of Jerusalem are experiencing. During the reign of 5 kings, he had warned the inhabitants of the southern kingdom of Judah that their spiritual decline would lead the nation to defeat and destruction. But I don't think anyone imagined what Jeremiah describes for us. It's a gloomy picture that he paints as he describes it. The devastation that surrounds him is unbelievable. I'll read it in a moment, but first of all, let me just say hi to you and welcome once again to another Heart to Heart Talk. And I hope that today is a day that each and every one of us will look to the Lord and trust Him for our future, because that's the only place to put your faith. Believe me, to put your faith in God. And no matter what happens in the world, we have a secure place in God's economy and God's plan, and we can be thankful for that. Very, very thankful. Well, here's what Jeremiah saw. He said, "Our inheritance has been turned over to aliens, our homes to foreigners. We have become orphans and fatherless. We must buy the water we drink. Our wood can be had only at a price. Those who pursue us are at our heels. We're weary. We find no rest. We submitted to Egypt and Assyria to get enough bread. Our fathers sinned and are no more, and we bear their punishment. Slaves rule over us, and there is none to free us from their hands. We get our bread at the risk of our lives because of the sword in the desert. Our skin is hot as an oven, feverish from hunger. Women have been ravished in Zion and virgins in the towns of Judah. Princes have been hung up by their hands. Elders are shown no respect. Young men toil at the millstones, and boys stagger under loads of wood. The elders are gone from the city gate. Young men have stopped their music. Joy is gone from our hearts, and our dancing has turned to mourning." Talk about troubles. They were really in a bad way. But in the midst of all this doom and gloom, there is a bright spot. After Jeremiah looks around at the circumstances, he looks up to God and he says, "You, O Lord, reign forever. Your throne endures from generation to generation." I don't know all the trials and tribulations that you might be going through. For all I know, you may feel worse off than those people in Jeremiah's day, although most people, after reading the above passage, come to the conclusion that things could be a lot worse. But I do know this, that God is reigning, and He is still on the throne. And I want you to be encouraged by remembering the little saying, the outlook might be dark, but the uplook is always bright. And many times during the challenges and the changes of this past year and the past few years, I felt like waving a white flag myself and giving up. But instead, I have always looked up and found that even though there was toil and turmoil and circumstances surrounding me, there was a perfect calm around the throne of heaven. Think about that. What a picture that is. No matter how devastating this earth is, there's always a calm around the throne. God has always been and always will be in control. And all we have to do is realize and relax in Him. And there's another scripture there in Lamentations that says, "Great is thy faithfulness, morning by morning." And that song's based on that. So let's remember that God is faithful, and he has been faithful, and he always will be faithful, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the gas prices, regardless of the inflation, the economy, the crime that's going on in our country, and even around the world. God is still on the throne. There's perfect calm around his throne. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me once again here for another heart-to-heart talk. These little messages that come from my heart to your heart. And I hope that they are uplifting and encouraging to you today. What would be very uplifting and encouraging to me is to see some of you that listen to this in church on Sunday. We have church at 10:30 Sunday mornings, and it would be great to have you. So we're located, at 1099 Greenville Pike in Clarion, Pennsylvania. We would love to see you sometime. And I would say to those of you who maybe are listening frequently, tell somebody else about this. Write down a little piece of paper and tell them they can look at Facebook or look at our website, or even look it up on the YouTube. But spread the word. Spread the word. And I'll keep spreading the word from my point. You spread the word from where you are. God bless you. Have a great day. And we'll see you again soon, Lord willing. Bye-bye.